What is up, guys and gals? Podcast number 30, and this is a good one. I'll tell you what, I am one lucky guy sitting in between two beautiful ladies, the wonderful Dani, and then let's introduce everyone to the wonderful Sam Miller. How are you today?
I feel great. I am happy to be here and talking with both of you.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to quickly talk a little bit about Sam because she's new to not that new. You've been here for how long?
A few months.
Yeah. Right? And you put in some work. So, not that new. We're going to talk a little bit about Sam, and then we're going to dive into this main project here at Zero Doubt Club that really kind of manifested in my mind, I would say back in March or April of 2020, when I was like, all right, how am I going to put all this together? How am I going to put all these thoughts and experiences that I've had? How am I going to put it all together? So, along with Eric's help, my help, and then again, the beautiful Dani and Sam, you guys really kind of were able to piece it all together. And we're going to talk about the Zero Doubt Club binder. A lot of information on there. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit more about you.
I'm so excited to talk about Sam because I feel like all my clients, I'm always like, Sam, Sam.
They don't
and
know
they're
like,
who's Sam?
so finally get to know me now.
Yes, it'll be nice to be able to put a name to it.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone's talking me up to be super interesting, but I'm just like a normal person.
Stop. So here's the first thing. Everyone is amazing in their own way. Right. No one can do you better than you. None of us are normal.
Well, that's true.
None of us are normal. I hate to break the news if you think you're normal, but you're not.
Normal isn't a thing.
All right.
Exactly.
So here I go. I went to Ohio University, and I was originally in the fine arts, and then found XPhys. Or exercise physiology, sorry. I'm talking in jargon. Yes, go Bobcats. And I graduated from there in 2018, moved to Thailand. Yes, I speak Thai, so if anybody wants to talk in Thai, I would love to. I never get the chance. And then
you're super normal though.
Yeah, just this normal girl speaks Thai.
Speak Thai. And I came back and moved to Cleveland. And I taught dance for a while, and then I started working in a hospital.
Wait, what kind of dance?
Any kind of dance. But Eric knows well that I teach adult hip hop dance.
So you remember having Eric in your class?
Oh, yeah.
What was that like?
Eric is spunky. I don't know any other word to describe him because he was awesome. And even if he didn't know the steps in that moment, he was willing to try, which I love. But yeah, I mean, I teach any kind of dance. I still do it, but I only teach kiddos now. Baby babies.
How old?
Around 5, 6. Sometimes I'll jump in with a little bit older, 10, 11.
Mm-hmm. So would you do, so you would teach a class for 5 to 10-year-olds?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
For sure. Yeah. I love
potentially
teaching
coming
kiddos.
soon.
Yes. I love teaching kids. Yeah. And then, like I said, I worked in a hospital at Cleveland Clinic main campus. And then after doing that, I decided to go back to school. So I'm currently in physician's assistant school. I just got accepted to Case Western, so I'll be starting there soon. And, that's why I wanted to help with this project a lot, is because I love talking about anatomy and biochemistry and physiology. And I feel like it gets kind of lost in personal training. And it's really good to have the client education on all of that, because then they kind of know why we're telling them to do all this stuff, like why exercise is right and why you should eat nutritious foods and all of that. I mean, the education piece gets lost a lot, and I feel like we've brought a lot of that here, and I'm happy to help with that with my background. So
yeah, that's awesome.
We are so lucky to have you help.
Just this normal girl.
Yeah, just normal.
And passion for this stuff has contributed so much to this binder.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So tell us why you even took this position of working here at Zero Doubt Club and doing this project.
Well, honestly, when Eric called me, he was like, "Hey, I'm starting a gym. I want you to be a part of it." And I was like, "What?" And so it was super broad. And then he brought me in, and he was like, this is Jeremy, which I got to meet you, which was awesome. And he was like, we have this very unique vision for this business where we need somebody who is passionate about the type of stuff that you are, and about physical wellness, along with like all of the background and knowledge behind what goes into physical wellness and mental and spiritual wellness as well. And but we have this really unique path because we're not trying to be like a typical personal training gym or something like that.
And what is a typical personal training gym?
I'd say one that's I hate to say it, but maybe like a little more money focused than client focused, or one that wants to promote their business over anything else. I've been a personal trainer before, and I've been with places that kind of don't focus on really teaching the client and helping the client achieve their best self. And it's because, it's all about, well, we just need to sign as many people as possible because we need the money, we need the income. And that's why we hire personal trainers. And it's not necessarily to let the trainer really be authentic or, come up with this great creative way to get clients to realize how they can be their best. And this is unique in that that's our only focus.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That's definitely our main focus here, and that's why we did that. So that's awesome. So you saw something there.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the future going with this and everything? Like you're in school now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love to be of assistance anywhere, but I definitely feel like since I'm not, training people one-on-one, which is why nobody knows who I am when Dani mentions me. I love to be in the background and really help create all of the content and all of the education that we're going to be giving out to people. I feel like that's my purpose in this. And school is only going to elevate what I can offer.
Right.
And, even if I'm a little more absent during school, it's difficult, but I'll always be here and I'll always be back because I love to contribute what I have been able to gain to other people. And I feel like that's really my place here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you here. I mean, again, the value that you bring us is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys want to dive in?
Let's
do
do
I
it.
feel like that's a perfect transition.
Let's do it.
Into this binder.
Let's do it.
Dani, you want to take over this part?
Ooh.
Let's talk about the binder.
Let's talk about the binder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the binder is obviously a binder.
Yes.
Here it is. If you're
There it
watching
is.
it on video, here it is.
It's orange. It's pretty.
Boom.
It has 26 key outlines to it. There is an array of different topics that are covered. And it's kind of cool because not only are there things for you to read, there's things for you to write down, have a little bit of activity, maybe even try a movement in your body, or listen to a podcast, some book recommendations.
Yep.
We try to make it as unique and what's the word I'm thinking of? Just
Fun,
multi-purpose.
Multifaceted.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
multifaceted in so many different levels because we don't want people to get boring. We don't want it to feel like homework.
Right.
It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be interesting and
Sure.
informative. So yeah, there are so many amazing things that we cover that you might not have even thought of went into this whole quote unquote gym thing.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good minds on this. I feel like we all, I feel like I kind of headed up the binder, but basically if I didn't know something that like in depth, like I thought that we should be giving, I would just call or text Jeremy or Dani and be like, hey, I need you guys to talk about this. I need some more information. You're the specialist on like stretching or yoga or unprocessed versus processed foods, specific topics like that. That I'm knowledgeable in, but they really specialize in, and I just feel like it's been so great to be able to put all of it together, all of our minds and all of the knowledge and all the background together in this for everyone.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this important though? Like, why do we really do this? I mean, it's like, all right, I got my day, I wake up, I got to take care of the kids, I got to go to work, I got to come home, I got to cook, I got to clean, I got to do laundry. Am I really going to spend, 20 minutes of my day like opening this binder and reading and doing some work?
Right.
Like, why?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. I feel like if you're serious about transforming your life and the way you live and maybe your physical body and your mental and spiritual health, then you kind of make time for something that's going to just really aid that transformation. And that's what this binder is. I mean, 20 minutes in the grand scheme of a day is not that much. You wake up 20 minutes earlier and you get it done. I mean, I know Eric is now a huge proponent of waking up early and getting your day started, working out, meditating, eating a healthy breakfast, stuff like that. All of this that we put in the binder, we really tailored it to make sure that can be an integral part of your day without you having to spend 1,000 hours on it a day, even though maybe it might be good if you could.
Well, I think that's what's so great about the binder. I mean, even Zero Doubt Club in general, our clients are coming to us because they want more than just working out.
Right.
Our clients want to change their lives and in some form or fashion are working towards that, and on so many different levels. And this binder is just another form, fashion, level for them to kind of explore and dip their toes in and see what it's all about, and then kind of flourish from there.
Right.
And the best part about this is even if you don't have 20 minutes, which we all have 20 minutes,
right,
if we really want it, it could start small, like meditating.
Yes.
You can meditate for 2 to 3 minutes and then work your way up from there. Same thing with the binder. Check it out for 5 minutes. Maybe just skim through some pages, and then
right,
the next day you add an extra couple minutes working on it,
right,
or doing something. So yeah, I think that's what's really great about that.
Yeah,
as well.
you made a great point that you could kind of go at your own pace and pick the chapters that you want to do. Again, with my transformation, how it started in the gym, that process. So maybe someone's like, all right, I'm gonna read about the importance of exercises, find out, do a little bit more reading about yoga and stretching, and then you go into food and what is the proper way to eat for my body, and that could take anywhere from 6 to 12 months to really figure it out and pinpoint it, so you can keep working in that area. And then you can get into, how do we calm ourselves down by breathing. There's breathing exercises that are just proven to work, and you can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day to do that. Meditation. So all of that is in the binder, and you really just go at your own pace. That's the nice thing. Now, that doesn't mean that, we're not going to push you as coaches, as trainers, because, I think, Dani, you can tell if someone's like slacking or just kind of not progressing after like 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I think the binder's a good accountability tool along with our help too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's, even if our clients have questions, like, you guys are always free to say, hey, I'm struggling in this area, what should I do? And we're also here to observe things and give our recommendations and try and point you in the right direction. But I do love that Jeremy expressed that it's go at your own pace, and maybe one person is feeling like they aren't sleeping well. Oh, well, here's a part in our binder, a key component about sleep. Read all about it. Listen to a podcast. Journal about it.
Right.
And I know we've had a lot of people lately interested in meditation and things of that nature. There's a whole key in this binder that talks about meditation and breath work and
more to come.
And more to come. Yeah, the binder is ever changing. It's continuing to evolve ever since we started it, and yeah, there's so much more that can flourish from it.
For sure.
The information is all out there. It's just about really reading it and then sitting with it. And what that means is you can read something and then just push it to the side. But if you really sit with it and go in your heart and start working on any one of these keys, and again, we call them keys because they're going to unlock your highest potential. or a higher potential. Eventually your highest potential, okay? And that's really all we want. We just want to feel the best, have the most energy we can, be the most calm, be the most creative, be the most loving people we can as humans.
Right.
And we just basically have to do this stuff. We have to do this stuff. We just can't sit and watch TV all day long and go out to eat and expect to have more happy days than feeling low or monotonous, or what's the purpose of life and all this stuff. The purpose of life is it's inside of you.
Right.
And the only person that can tell you that is yourself. Not a coach, not a trainer, not a psychologist. Not any books you read are going to tell you. They only give you the keys, the formula to take the information and interpret it in your own heart.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what else I like that you said was the information's all out there. And I feel like from a practical standpoint, along with everything you just said, which is great, this binder, the information is out there. I mean, there's plenty of people that know this information, right? We're not some like groundbreaking like scientists or something that are putting this all together. But
well, hold on. Maybe putting it all together is the groundbreaking, right?
And so that's what I was going to say. People could spend months, years sifting through the material that we've placed together to kind of optimize their transformation. And I feel like another thing about this binder is just I've had to go through years of formal education to gather all of this, right? And like years of focusing on myself and working with different trainers and working with different spiritual coaches and stuff like that. But now all of our clients and people who are new here have this unique like gift where if you join us, like you get all of it at once, and you just get all this knowledge and all these people working together to just make it so easy to really gain everything at one time. And it's great. Yeah.
So some of my biggest transformation clients were where I was working with them one-on-one over Zoom,
right.
No training. So take the training out. Sure, I told them what to do, during COVID when I couldn't be there in person.
Right.
But we talked about all these basic stuff, and a couple of them just decided to put it all together at once.
Right.
And I'll talk about Doug, probably like the biggest transformation client. So I started working with him, I don't know, maybe a little less than a year ago. And it was just about like a weight loss thing. And he lost the weight, but in the process, he realized he can do anything.
Right.
And his dream and passion was to go rock climbing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm like vicariously living through Doug.
I was going to say, Danielle, does this just like completely
he
spark your
coming
interest?
back from his trips. Well, his one trip to Arizona, I think he's there now too.
Yeah, he left today. What's up, Doug?
That's awesome. So even without the physical proponent of it,
no,
like being physically
that's not
in
how
touch
transformation
and training,
happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to see how his goals are evolving over time.
Yes.
Yeah, what's his recent one?
More personal and more centered around the things that he's finding he loves to do. He recently said that his goal is to lead climb a 5'9".
And that's like no joke, right?
No, especially if you're just starting to go outside and actually climb big walls. He's climbing multi-pitch routes. That means that they're probably about 120 feet at least.
Wow.
I mean, the average route's probably 50 to 60 feet high, and if he's climbing 2 of those in one, it's like, Doug, you are so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, just you saying that, Jeremy, I mean, even if this binder was not used for like our physical training clients, like people could use this and the knowledge that we put into this to really level up. I mean, just like Doug has, because he didn't have physical training at first, and now all of a sudden he's just a monster with his goals. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, when you put the information to work,
mm-hmm.
one day at a time, magic happens.
Right. Truly.
So.
Truly.
And in your own unique way, and in a way that you can truly relate to it, and it doesn't even have to feel like so hard.
Right.
I mean, rock climbing is a perfect example. That's why I love it so much.
Right.
I can go to the rock climbing gym and have the best time for an hour or two, and I got the best workout in.
Right.
And I didn't feel like I was like
right
straining myself.
When you do something you love, right?
Yeah.
So it's unique to everyone, and I feel like that's why I loved Eric being in my dance class, and that's why I love dance, right? Because it's a very expressive art form, but also like kills you while you're doing it. Like you cannot do it without getting, a decent cardio workout in, and sometimes strength if you're lifting people or whatever, which I danced in college, so it was a workout. And I just love it because it never feels like you're working out. It never feels like you're physically challenging yourself, even though you are, because you just love to do it. And yeah, I mean, setting goals like that for yourself and then overcoming them and doing it while you're doing something you love is just incredible.
I'll never forget the picture Eric sent me of when he was in your dance class. He was completely drenched. I'm like, what is this? He's like, this is dance, hip hop dance class. I'm like, oh my God, you're like that wet. He's like, this is the toughest workout ever.
I know, he would be soaked up. Both of us would. Eric was always like, I don't know how you talk and do all this at the same time, because I do everything they do. But I'm like, I got to talk everybody through it. So it's... You are drenched afterwards, and to be the person too that's just like, you can do it, let's do it, it's almost over, is awesome but exhausting. Yeah. But that's why I love people like Eric, because they just bring so much energy, and it's like you can just feel the energy in the room, and it charges everyone's batteries at the same time.
It's my secret goal. It's no longer a secret because now everybody knows. But I have wanted to be a dancer my whole life.
Oh, do it!
Well, there's a reason for everything.
Finding like a place to go, basically. I'm like, I want to.
Here we go.
Dancing with the Stars is my all-time.
Are you serious?
Me and my mom are seeing it live next week.
You're kidding!
I am so
wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Live.
Dancing with the Stars live.
Oh,
they should be paying me right now.
Well, I have some ins with some adult dance classes,
really?
So let me know when you want to go.
Go.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
You're gonna set a SMART goal?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
We'll make it a company trip. Jeremy,
Yeah.
you're in.
Dancing? Oh, yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to be good.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I did a talent show. I think this was in 6th grade with my best friend, and we danced the hip hop array.
Yes.
You're kidding.
I'm not
That's
kidding.
Awesome.
Break dancing?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
like doing all kinds of cool moves and stuff.
I have
Oh my
the
gosh.
best image in my head right now.
Curly, big hair,
Yes.
skinny kid. That's her image, huh?
Well, that's fine.
I knew it.
Come and show them off. I'm telling you, nobody in the dance world would ever shun you, like turn you away, even if you have literally zero rhythm. As long as you come and try, everyone loves it.
Because there's magic behind dancing, right? It opens you up.
Yeah, it does. It opens up your spirit while you're like being physical. It's a very transformative art form when you really dig deep into it.
Yeah.
We need to add a key here.
Yeah, we should.
Fun.
Dance.
Yeah.
You guys can tackle that one.
Art form, yeah.
Yeah.
Art form exercise.
I mean,
that's
why I love yoga so much.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is like the closest thing I can get to dance without having to go to.
You're right, and every dancer practices yoga. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm like some yoga guru. I'm not certified or anything, but for sure, I have to practice yoga in order to dance.
The thing with yoga, what I'm realizing, because I only started really doing it like for a couple years ago, is all the moves we like do anyways, or we started doing as kids. Like, these are just natural movements for the body.
Yeah.
And you're like actually relaxed, even though some of them you're like, oh, like, but because they work out, downward dog, all the arm work and all that. But these are like moves that we just naturally.
Dani knows more about this, but for sure in dance, it's expressed that everything in yoga and in dance is a natural movement pattern that you lose over time. Mm-hmm. Because in the adult world, you have a schedule, you have a rigid schedule. Usually you do the things that you need to do, and then you go home and you lay down and that's it.
Yep.
And you kind of lose like the weight of the body and the flow within movement, the mobility. Yeah. It's definitely worth doing. So I'm going to hold both of you to it. We're going to a adult dance.
Gotta stay moving.
Yeah.
Gotta stay moving.
So there. Awesome.
All right, guys. So let's dive into these keys, right? We have 26 of them. Well, actually, we have more, but this is just the first half of the binder. We kind of treat them as weeks. You can take You can take a week to do each one. You can take longer if you need to. Most of our personal training clients are with us for anywhere from 6 months to a year or longer. So the information is going to keep coming, and we're going to keep talking about it. But all right, so we got a bunch of keys. Let's talk about what are some of your favorites and why.
Oh yeah, I'll start. So for sure, I love what to eat or what should you eat. Both of the parts of that, but part one is very interesting because it really jumps into processed versus unprocessed foods and the importance of micromolecules and vitamins and nutrients and all of that. And I think that gets lost, especially with people that I've seen that are macro counters, which I am. But, there was this huge push for people to be like, oh, it fits the amount that I should eat. It fits the calories that I should eat, so I can just eat it. But people don't realize the turmoil that it puts your body through when you really just don't focus on what is in the food.
What does it do?
A wide range of things. I mean, obviously obesity is the biggest illness in America. And that is processed foods has a huge play in playing in that. Heart disease. A lot of people have undiagnosed digestive problems and they don't know it. Their gut biome just gets torn apart by eating processed foods constantly.
So it's a quick fix, right? Because your gut biome is everything, right? It's your second mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I actually experienced that personally. Yeah. I went through a really hard time in my life, emotionally, mentally, and kind of stopped taking care of myself for a minute, mm-hmm. and just eating the worst foods, overeating for too long, which
right.
was only a month. Yeah. But I remember calling the doctor to something's wrong with me.
Right. Yeah.
And I went to so many doctor's appointments. There was nothing's wrong with you.
Right.
You're fine. You're normal. Well, they couldn't tell me anything. And I was
right.
no, everything is wrong.
And the problem is too that it's seen so often that it's considered normal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But then you talk to people who are really micronutrient focused on eating whole foods from the earth and stuff like that. And they don't have the problems that a lot of people struggle with. They don't have IBS. They don't have, GERD or chest pain from indigestion or fatigue, stuff like that. I mean, all of that can be, I'm not saying, of course, there's chronic illnesses. There's plenty of illnesses out there that are legitimate and not caused by a gut biome problem. But if you are relatively healthy and you're having a gut biome problem, you're most likely going to experience fatigue. You're going to experience indigestion, which makes you feel really, really bad. And you're going to have, problems using the bathroom, stuff like that. It just doesn't make you feel great. And so I love that key. I love that we get to teach people that.
I wish I had this when I mean, I had to do a lot of self-digging and
right.
journaling and meditating and just self-work in general to be I know what the problem is.
Right.
This is where I need to start. And food was huge.
Right.
I mean, and mental health and all that good stuff.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. And then I'll just say my second favorite one. Of course, I love the importance of exercise, stuff like that. But my second favorite is stress mitigation. So that would be key 17.
And stress is big
nowadays. Everything. Yeah, stress is everything. People don't realize the amount of stress they put themselves under. I mean, even just us as trainers, as people who work out constantly, there's plenty of people who are trainers and they're work out every day, leg day every day. And it's you need to rest.
I got a client for you.
There is stress that you're placing upon your body. And you don't realize it because you think it's positive stress, but eventually it turns to negative stress. You have to listen to your body and mitigating stress that people may not even know that they're putting upon themselves is a huge proponent of becoming a healthier body.
Yeah. So you're just talking about even the physical working out stress, not even the mental stress.
We're not even touching on the mental stress yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the mental stress is big too, right?
It's huge. Yeah. That's it. And that section covers both. So it's a huge section, but it's very, very interesting and great to talk about and learn about.
Right.
So, and Dani got to, we got to work on that together, which I love. We got to talk about
Oh, you
some
want to add to
breathing
that?
techniques. Yeah, go ahead, Dani.
Yeah, I was really excited to share some breathing techniques.
Mhm.
I actually can't wait to even add more to it
Yeah.
and go even deeper because there's so many breathing techniques you can do.
Mm-hmm.
In the yoga world, we call it pranayama, which is kind of fun to say.
I love that.
Say it again.
Pranayama.
Pranayama.
Pranayama. Yes.
Boom.
But there's breathing techniques to help with stress, help with anxiety, help with better sleep, help with joy, help with anger.
Right.
I mean, you name it, there is a breath exercise to help relieve anything,
right,
or even bring on and energize something. It's so powerful. I mean, breathing is involuntary, so we are constantly doing it without even realizing it every single day.
For sure.
There's a famous quote that I wish I could remember off the top of my head, but my memory bank doesn't work that way. But it basically says, we have a certain amount of breaths for our lifetime. And if we focused a little bit more on our breathing, we could potentially expand our lifetime.
True.
Yeah. I mean, I even heard somewhere a couple books that like back in the day, people lived to like 600.
Yeah, I wouldn't honestly.
And why do like monks and people who go into these monasteries live to like 120?
Yeah, because they focus so much on their inner health.
Yeah, they're like doing these keys like eating healthy, organic food, breathing. Yep. So, Dani, you want to give an example or two of breathing? Yeah.
Do you guys want me to through?
Yeah, just lead a short one.
Short one.
Okay, be great. So, people could follow along.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So one of the breathing techniques that I use probably every single day is related to the length of your inhale and your exhale.
Love it.
It helps me relieve anxiety when I start to feel like my heart is racing a little bit quicker. All it is we'll do it together.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like to close my eyes, but you don't have to. Okay, so inhale for a count of 4. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice.
Love it.
You want to do it again?
Are we doing it again? My eyes are still closed.
Okay, inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale slow. 3, 2, 1.
Super relaxed.
Now, do we have to finish the podcast?
I literally do this while I'm driving.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. People can do it now. Yeah. Just replay that 30 seconds if you want to. I mean,
you can do the counts the counts are totally up to you. Everyone starts differently. Right. You can do a breathe in for 3, exhale for 6, breathe in for 2, exhale for 4, whatever it is. But the main goal of that breathing technique is to exhale for longer than you're inhaling.
Right. And this is why I love this section because, I mean, like I know some breathing techniques, but like I said, Dani and I worked on that because I was writing it and I was like, oh, I am great about talking about stress mitigation, especially physical stress mitigation. But I feel like Dani would be great for this because she can really, give us some techniques that we can put in here, we can write in here, and people can follow along, when they're feeling like the mental stress of the day or something like that. And so I love that key because of that. Yeah. So, all right, Jeremy.
One of my favorite breathing techniques is to breathe in like 6 seconds.
Yes. Hold
for a little bit, and then even slower exhale. I mean, like 30 seconds.
Love it.
You do that like 5 times.
So relaxed.
So relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Breathing, important.
So
that's actually one of my favorite keys too, but I am going to go with actually my favorite key, which is positive self-talk.
Love that one.
Yeah.
Of course.
Again, with my transformation, my story, everything changed when I started changing the thoughts that were happening in my mind. And, again, where do these thoughts come from? They come from childhood. They come from our conditioning, our environment. Yep. But that doesn't mean that's what we are.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean you have to live like that your whole life.
So you don't, and you can make the change fast. Again, we always use this stat because it's one of the best stats. Harvard did a study, and out of the 70,000 thoughts average we have a day, 80% of them are negative. So how can you possibly have what you really want out of life? Like what you really want, what your heart is, and maybe you don't even know yet because of these negative thoughts. So the more positive thoughts you have, changes everything. You can have more of what you want and less of what you don't. There's techniques to load your mind. Again, our mind is nothing more than just like a computer that can be loaded, right? Can be changed. Yeah. And there's plenty of wonderful scientists out there that talk about the rewiring of our brain and activating new neurons and really changing the programming of what are some of our faults of what we feel we have, whether we're impatient or whether we're, more reactive, angry. All of that can change through the mind and through positive self-talk. And again, there's exercises out there.
They added one that I love, but I feel like people have to wait until they get their mind there to try it.
Okay, you want to sneak peek it?
Yeah, I call it the mirror effect.
Okay,
and
all right.
Yes, yep. And yes, you've got to face yourself in the mirror. So just be prepared for it. But it is great, and you will change the way you talk to yourself when you're forced to do that.
You will also feel very weird.
Yes, it's very weird, but it's worth it if you can force yourself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I will say one of my favorite keys is key 8. About meditation, kind of introducing it and going a little bit deeper with it. Because again, I know a lot of our clients and people we've talked to have been really interested in meditation, and they're like, "Does it really work?"
Yeah. Yes.
And all of us are like,
people doubt it. Yeah.
Right.
But it takes so much time to develop a solid meditation practice. Mm-hmm. And I know that I even still work on it every single time I sit to meditate. It's so hard to turn all your thoughts off.
Sometimes it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit down and I'm like, I cannot do this today.
Yeah.
But then you just force yourself to sit there and just think about why you think you can't do it today.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you ever, sorry to interrupt you, but do you ever, like when you have those, because if you're in like silence and you're having those thoughts, to just put on some calm music?
Yeah, I do. I have a white noise machine.
Okay.
So I typically will do it in there, and I'll turn on the sounds, and honestly, like from what I've learned from people that I've practiced with, like especially yoga instructors, a lot of them practice meditation because it helps in their practice. They were like, if you sit down and you feel like you can't do it, like your meditation practice isn't going how you planned it would, then you need to stay there and think about why you planned your meditation practice. And so that's what I'll do on those days.
That's good.
That's exactly what I was about to say. When you sit down and you feel chaos, it's probably your body and your mind telling you something.
Right.
And you should try and sit with it a little bit longer.
Right.
Because even though you might not at that start or beginning be completely quiet in your mind, you are still training your brain in some way.
Right.
And even just sitting with your chaos, that is so hard.
It is super difficult.
Talk about mirroring.
Right.
That is hard.
Right. And I know we put a lot of that in that section, and I'm glad you brought it up, because we've in that section, in that key, we definitely talked about it's not going to be easy. Mm-hmm. And the good thing about this binder is none of us sugarcoated the practices. Because people make it seem like, oh, you're just going to do this and all of a sudden you're going to be transformed. Like, no, you have to work really hard at it. And meditation is one of those things that you continuously work at.
Yeah.
So
time is on our side.
Yeah.
When it comes to this stuff.
Right.
But yeah, and that's another thing about the meditation section is you can start on so many different areas. Like you can start by taking a walk and noticing the things around you.
Right.
You can start by eating mindfully before you take your first bite. Like actually looking at your plate and being mindful of what's on it and where it came from and who delivered it and who cooked it and who grew it.
And the way you chew. Yes.
The way you chew. I mean, even just tasting one thing at a time. And there's so many different forms that play into meditation and how you can deepen your practice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there really is no right or wrong way to do it. The point is to just be present in the current moment. Even if you're having those thoughts, recognizing that you're having those thoughts is being present at least in them.
Yeah, it's a part of the beast, you know?
Yep. Okay, that's great. I mean, there's all of these really we need to do. What's our favorite? I think that's tough to say because I mean, literally, like all of them are my favorite.
I love them.
You know, we can talk
And
about.
you guys will pick your favorites too once you get your binder.
For sure.
To start reading through them.
Right.
People will realize what's more interesting to them. And already I'm going to give everyone a challenge. If you get your binder and you find something that's less interesting to you, then that's the one you need to read multiple times. Because they're all important. So, and I found myself like, when I was writing a lot of these, like, oh, this is super interesting. Like I could talk about this for days. And then the ones that I'm like, I know about, but for me, it was like, okay, this is just information I need to get out to people. Okay, why is that? Probably because I'm not good at stuff I'm writing about. Like I know about it, but am I practicing it wholeheartedly like I should be talking about to other people? Probably not. So then it gave me a good challenge to, you know, reread them and rewrite them and sit with the stuff that I found to be more challenging. So whenever everyone gets their binder, that's what they should do.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, we just need to do the stuff that makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah, yes. We're fortunate to be able to challenge ourselves. How about that?
Hey, if you're alive to do uncomfortable things, then hey, you're alive.
Pressure is a privilege.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to hop on and
this
talk
was
about
great.
this.
Yeah, thank you guys as well.
Yeah,
and thank you. Were you thanking us or the listeners?
Thanking you and the listeners.
Okay, because okay, all right.
Of course, the listeners.
Thank you guys for listening.
No, I want to thank you, lovely ladies, for doing this, and again for doing this binder. It's going to evolve. It's going to keep getting better. But man, this is gold.
It's good. Yep, it's good.
It's good. And then thank you everyone for listening. Feel free to leave questions, or if you want to find out how to get the binder or any coaching, training, anything, just feel free to reach out to any one of our ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We're here for you.
Nice.
All right.
Bye, guys.